Good morning, buenos dias. I hope you can hear me well. Put this here so you can hopefully get a nice sound. Or maybe we should do it like right here in the middle. Let's do it right here in the middle. No, okay, go back to here. Good morning. Welcome to the Gemini Full Moon Collective Reading and Limpias. I am Mama Rainbow from A Meaningful Dream, and happy full moon. We had it at its fullest at 4:01 a.m. So you might have received some kind of guidance in your dreams. We've also had this moon be in Gemini since, I believe, Friday evening. And Gemini, the moon will be moving out of Gemini later today into Cancer around like 2 p.m. So even though it's still in Gemini and it won't be in Gemini for the rest of the day, we're still going to be feeling the energy of this full moon throughout the week, especially because this is the last full moon that we're having for 2024 according to the Gregorian calendar. So this is the final culmination, this is the final release, this is the final purge and letting go of what no longer serves you in order to prepare you for the year ahead in 2025. So think about what you have done and accomplished this last year. This is a great full moon to celebrate it and to talk about what you have done. Gemini rules communication. Hi, Rhonda. Gemini rules over social media. It rules over our early childhood development, learning. So this is a great time to express what have you learned, whether this be with your friends, with those who are close to you, or even on social media, or even just to yourself. This is a great time to reflect. Gemini is also the twins of the zodiac, and so they are the mirror, right? There are two different sides to Gemini. And so this is about, I think, taking time to embody, and not so much embody, but to really identify both aspects of your light and your shadow, your masculine and your feminine, and how are those in balance or out of balance, and what would you like to change in the coming year ahead. So lots of things to think about. And what's also interesting about this Gemini moon is we're still currently in Sagittarius season, and Gemini is opposite to Sagittarius. And so this is really about, it's kind of perfect actually that we're having this Gemini full moon in Sagittarius, because it is a time of releasing maybe old narratives and stories to create a new narrative that allows us for freedom and unlimited potential, as Sagittarius is very much free thinker, exploration, about expansion, opening the mind. So this is asking us to really identify how have we maybe been stopping ourselves from the narrative or the stories that we're telling ourselves, and how can we break free from them. So really take a look at where Gemini is in your birth chart to get a better understanding of where Gemini rules in your birth chart, what house specifically, and that will give you a little bit more further detail as to what this Gemini full moon is going to offer you and what themes will come up for you. Other things that are around Gemini themes are like the hands, the arms, the eyes. So this is a great time. Hey, Sarah. This is a great time to maybe paint your nails to embody, like, what are you bringing in? What are you wanting to call in for the new year? What kind of jewelry do you want to wear that will help you call in, but also release what has happened in 2024 and help you prepare for 2025? So this is a great, a great full moon, an interesting full moon. And typically I've noticed for a lot of people, when the Gemini moon is in full, there's an element of a new identity or a new way of speaking about oneself and even others. We have a lot of rulers and leaders that are a Gemini. So we're going to see some shifts happen in our collective consciousness, especially when it comes to our leaders, as to how maybe there are certain stories and narratives that they've been embodying are really limiting the collective in some way, shape, or form. So definitely pay attention to that. And also Gemini does rule information. So we might be receiving some kind of information, whether it be about family members or connecting with people from our early childhood or from school. Gemini rules like the school and the learning the learning space. Gemini is very much the student, but also can be the teacher. And that's like the beautiful kind of pairing. Gemini is the student, whereas Sagittarius is like the teacher. So how can you release what you've learned in order to embody and teach what you have learned, like the student becoming the teacher, and this teacher becoming the student. Like it's always a simultaneous thing. Hello, hello, so good to see you. So really take some time to think about what narratives and what stories are you telling yourself that are no longer serving you, that we need to release in order for us to really break into our unlimited potential, our multidimensionality that we are as humans. And Mercury is officially out of retrograde as of today. We made it. How's everybody feeling? I've definitely take some time to think about what came up for this Mercury retrograde, because Gemini is actually ruled by Mercury. So it's no coincidence that we have this Mercury retrograde coming out of retrograde the day of the Gemini full moon. Yeah, whoop whoop, exactly. Exhausted. Girl, me too. I had a hard time getting up this morning, and it's rainy over here in Michigan, so it definitely made it even more challenging for me to wake up. I'm just naturally a night girl. I'm a sleepy girl. I love sleep. The bed is definitely my sanctuary. And so, you might be feeling like maybe we need to catch up on some rest. Maybe we need to catch up on all the programming and the new thinking and the ways that we've been, and taking some time to integrate that. We are getting ready to hit the winter season officially this Saturday on the winter solstice on the 21st. So happy early winter solstice, and also happy early Capricorn season as well. So this is a time where we are being asked to slow down. We are being asked to rest. We are being asked to take our time and not overcommit in our schedules as best as we can. I know for many small businesses that this is a busy season, but this is also a time where we're going to start beginning to feel the call to maybe take some time to slow down and evaluate what worked for you this last year and what needs to happen in the next year for that success to be there. And a lot of it might have to do with who is in your network. Who are you communing with? And I feel like, especially as we are in the age of Aquarius, community is going to be such a big, important piece, not just for small businesses, but for everybody. We're going to see more of a shift towards the power, towards the people. And we're going to also see a shift of people creating communities, wanting to be in communities, even maybe leaving communities to create and start their own communities that maybe have been around that have been unsustainable, falling. There's a lot around community, and Gemini does revolve around that too. Gemini technically also rules like your neighborhood, so you might even notice some kind of shift or something happen or occur within your neighborhood. Like, how has your neighborhood shifted since the Gemini new moon, which was back in June, I believe. I'm like trying to think. May or June? May. I'm like, my brain is like not, can't logic right now, but I can be intuitive. That's a whole other wavelength. So think about what's happened since the Gemini new moon and how things have changed and shifted for you since then too. And then last live, I said that we were going through a Mars retrograde in Capricorn, and I don't know how I got Capricorn. I don't know why I was thinking Capricorn. It's a Mars retrograde in Leo, and it will eventually shift into Cancer, and that will be happening up until June. So Mars rules our drive, how we take action, our aggression, our anger. Mars is the warrior planet. So we might be feeling triggered between now and June, and especially with this Gemini moon happening around the holidays. Gemini can also rule gossip, and this also can typically is a challenging time for people to be around families, depending on your family dynamic. So there might be some gossip that you're having to deal with within your family unit, and maybe even in your neighborhood. And this is your opportunity to not have your anger be triggered, which it will be, but not react and to the things that are being said or not said. So this is an opportunity for us to really hold ourselves to a higher level and not kind of fall to our anger. This doesn't mean that we can't have anger, but this is about finding healthy ways to work through our anger. And Mars in Leo means like we're going to see big, dramatic kind of happenings when it comes to our anger, how we are resolving our anger, how are we working through our anger. So you might see that within other people. It's a great time to observe. Your anger will be triggered, but this is a great time to observe and ask yourselves, how is this reflecting something that you are feeling within yourself? Because again, Gemini is the mirror towards others and with yourself. So I happen to be a Gemini moon and rising, and I can't tell you how much I've heard from other people how very reflective of them or of a mirror to them. Geminis do have the ability that one day they're feeling like this and the next day they kind of flip. So taking your time to evaluate how you're really feeling. Gemini can be very analytical, so this might be a time where we're really looking at our logic, how we're thinking in the mind, and really making sure that we're having a balance within our heart space. And I brought out some things today to help us embody and kind of balance the heart space with our mind as well. So that's what I think I have. I just did a beautiful class last night with my mentor, Omar Khayyam Yadel, and that was at the Enlightened Soul Center, and it was a class about how to acquire spiritual protection, and he led the first half and I led the second half, and it was a great class. It was a full class, and it definitely, for me, since I am a Gemini moon and rising, it's in my first house, so my identity is definitely has been shifting, and anytime the Gemini moon has come up, it's always been a new identity shift, and it's really showed me how I've really begun to step into this role of a teacher and how different that has been for me in my past. So exciting things. So really pay attention to what's been coming up, especially within like the last couple of days. What have you been asked to be stepped in? What are you being asked to step into and step out of in order to make space for this new thing? So let's, I think, get started and jump into the reading. I would love to show you what's on the table and what I have for us today. So I have my Speak Truth oil, which I don't have any in my shop right now. I need to make more, but this one felt like this wanted to come out. So we're going to be using this today. And then we have a Gemini full moon, Luna Essence. This is from a previous full moon. I just made some Gemini Luna Essence last night. I just haven't bottled it yet. And this one comes with the mantra, I am duality. I think it's so appropriate for what is coming up, because I feel like this Gemini moon is also like understanding the nuances in life, understanding the nuances within ourselves and even in others. I also have the throat chakra sound bowl for us today. I also have the pink peacock feathers, which we'll be using in our Limpias. And then for the heart chakra, I brought in some serpentine and some green aventurine. So I'll be using this in our Limpias today as well. And then I wanted to use pine for our cleanse today, because pine is a tree of peace, of harmony, of healing. And I feel like with this Mars retrograde, us coming out of a Mercury retrograde, and with it being the holidays and we're getting ready to go into winter solstice, you know, the evergreen does represent, the pine represents the survival or the ability to thrive even in the coldest months, and also just a symbol of peace and harmony. And with some of the chaos that's happening in the world, I feel like we could just use some peace. And then I also have my solar plexus or solar power spell candle that we'll also be using today. And then I brought out all of my personal favorite decks. Well, not all of them, because then we would have a whole table of decks. But I have my Oliver Hilbert Tarot. This is my favorite tarot deck that I own. Then I have my Holly Simple Amulet Friends Oracle deck. This is also one of my favorites. And then this is the Iris Oracle, and this is also another favorite of mine too. They're just like funky, very like childlike drawings. Like, just to kind of give you an example, they're literally like drawings that we did but when we were a kid. And even same here, they're like funky and like, you know, cool and whatever. So Gemini does also rule the inner child, so this is a great time to really create, to embody and work with the inner child, to heal the inner child. And you could do this through writing, journaling, words of affirmation, drawing, anything that works with your hands is really going to help embody that Gemini energy. So let's go ahead and open up the space and we'll jump into our reading. I always like, did I say everything that I need to say? Did I like communicate all the things? Because I feel like, especially with the Gemini moon, there's just so much to communicate. There's so much to communicate. There really is. All right. Spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters, we open up this space for this collective reading for this Gemini full moon, and we call upon the north, the element of earth, to be here with us. We call upon the east, the element of air, to be here with us. We call upon the south, the element of fire, to be here with us. And we call upon the west, the element of water, to be here with us. And we call above to the universe, the cosmos, to be here with us. And we call below to our ancestors to be here with us. May you help me deliver this message clearly and concisely with love and gratitude, and to communicate the messages that need to come through for the collective, for those who are watching now or later. Thank you, bless you, and so joke with me. Just light a little bit more just because I really like how pine smells. This is white pine. I have one more left in my apothecary. You can find it at ameaningfuldream.com. Definitely need to make more. Just because I really like it. It smells so good. It smells very like sitting by the fireside. Then we ask for confidence in our words, confidence in what we speak and say within ourselves and without speaking out loud to others. We'll have that going. All right, let's dive in. Let's see what we get. Okay. Spirit guides, ancestors, star sisters, universe, cosmos, Luna. What magic and medicine do we have for this Gemini full moon, the last full moon of 2024? All right. Barely got to shuffle and we already have cards coming out. That's a great sign. Love when that happens. I feel like that happens like every time. Spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters, what magic and medicine wants to come through for this Gemini full moon? Okay. Spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters, what magic and medicine? Okay. You might get to finish asking the question. All right. So, all right. This makes a lot of sense. Okay. So we got the Six of Cups, but it did show up in reverse. We also got the Lizard, and this also showed up in reverse. So these cards right here, I'm just going to have them here in reverse. The Six of Cups is a card of the inner child, and working with the inner child, this card can also typically represent nostalgia, things that bring us joy, things that when we were younger, like what did we do when we were younger that brought us a lot of peace and happiness and joy and harmony. This is really about tapping back into that, but internally, and bringing that joy. So what you may have done when you were younger may not be the same things that bring you joy now, but there might be similar elements to it. So for example, maybe it's when you were younger, you used to love watching movies, and maybe there were like kid movies that you liked. And now that we're grown up, maybe those kid movies don't, maybe bring you the same amount of joy as they did, but maybe a different type of movie that kind of pokes at that inner child will bring you that joy. So that's just like an example. And then we also have the Lizard, which is a card that is it's technically a secret arcana card based off of the artist here. So it's not really like an actual tarot card. It's their interpretation of tarot cards or secret arcana cards that should be included in the tarot deck. So this card is about giving some and taking some. And it's in reverse. So this Gemini moon is really asking for us to give ourselves that connection to our inner child, to give us permission to connect with our inner child, to give us permission to have fun, to give us permission to maybe make amends and forgive those who we were connected to at one point when we were younger that maybe we're no longer connected now. And with this being the holiday season too, family can trigger a lot in our inner child with our inner child. And so this card, I think, or this combination is asking for us to offer some forgiveness. Hello, nice to see you. To offer some forgiveness to yourself and offer forgiveness to those who maybe have triggered you or those who have maybe hurt you in your past. And I feel like this is especially true for family, and this is especially true for maybe former friends that we used to have, because this is really asking for us to give what maybe we felt like was taken from us. So maybe did you feel like when these childhood hurts and wounds were happening, what did you feel like was taken away from you in that wounding? What did you feel like that was taken away from you in that exchange of hurt or sadness or even joy? And how can you give that to yourself? How can you forgive and forgive yourself for being a part of it, but also forgiving the other person for doing it too? And what has it taught you since then? What has it given you? And it's funny because this morning my husband was telling me about how Dane Cook's brother basically took all of his money without him even knowing it and forced Dane Cook to basically have like a second reprise. And because of that, he ended up having a whole other part of his career that he didn't think he was going to have. And so in ways, that wound created some kind of abundance for him. And without that wound, that abundance or that idea or concept of creating a new tour wouldn't have happened. And that's very much like the sibling energy. Gemini does rule the siblings. So his brother caused this, but yet the effect that it had on Dane Cook was a great effect in a way, because it forced him to have to put himself back out there and to show himself that he could do these things without business managers or without anybody to do the work for him per se. So even though there was a wound, it created the gift. And oftentimes when we do get hurt, it is trying to pinpoint something within us that maybe we need to relook at with ourselves. So what maybe has happened in your past that's being currently triggered and maybe will be triggered within the last little bit of this year that maybe you felt like was being taken away from you, but was actually an opportunity for you to give something back to yourself, had you not had that thing or that place or person taken away from you, or even that energy. So that's kind of deep, kind of heavy in a sense. And we literally have the card forgive at the bottom of the deck here. So this is about forgiving the past, forgiving ourselves, forgiving who we were in our past, understanding that every piece of the puzzle was necessary for you to get here to this point and even into the future, even if we don't know exactly what that future might look like at this time. We also have pain. So this is definitely a moon where I think a lot of our wounds, our inner child wounds, are going to be triggered. And not just inner child wounds, but wounds around our speaking, wounds about the past parts of ourselves that maybe we felt like we didn't speak up because we didn't feel like we could, or we didn't say what we needed to say because we were too afraid, or we didn't speak up because of A, B, D, and C. So what pain are we holding in our throat chakra? What pain are we holding with our inner child? What do we need to let go of? This Gemini moon is a great moon to let it go, and again, to create a new narrative and to create a new story, one that's going to help propel you in a loving future, in a way that is going to not just serve you, but also serve others. Because oftentimes when we are healing ourselves and helping ourselves, we will naturally inspire others around us to do the same. And another tidbit, you never know who's watching you. And oftentimes the people that you inspire the most won't even tell you. So it's okay to be yourself and to show yourself fully, to show all sides of yourself, because Gemini, again, it rules two different parts of ourselves. It rules two sides of ourselves, the feminine and the masculine. So it's okay to show if you're hurting. It's okay to show if you've had some pain, and understand that not everybody is going to understand it or get it or receive it, but the right people will. And oftentimes that has to be a reconciling with ourselves. And that's really what this card and these cards are, I think, really highlighting, is like a reconciliation with ourselves, a forgiveness of ourselves, a forgiveness of our past selves. So maybe there were things that you did because of an inner child wound that you did in your adult life that you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. This is a great time to forgive yourself. This is a great time to really let it go and to create a new story. Like, okay, this is why this happened. This is where my wounding was coming from. And so I was triggered in this way and this is how I reacted and responded because of this unhealed wound. And now I'm aware of it. And now I can take some time to give it love, to forgive myself, my past self, and my current self in order to move forward. We also have body coming up here too. So your body is your best teacher. Your body is the vessel in which we come here to live on this planet. Your body is going to communicate to you what is good and what isn't good. And your body often knows before your mind does. And Gemini is very analytical. So sometimes our body might be aching and our minds are trying to talk us into it or out of it, even though our body is like, no, don't do it. No. But our mind's like, yeah, this is good. This could be a good idea. This could be a good thing. So this is really about listening to the mind, right? Listening to those narratives. Like, you aren't all of your thoughts, right? And also about fueling your thoughts. Like, one of the things that we talked about in class, Omar specifically said, like, we create 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day, and 70 to 80% of them are negative. And it becomes a problem when we feed that negative energy. So the ones that we fixate on, the ones that we repeatedly keep saying over and over again, that information is stored in our body and in different body parts. And our body will reflect what we're really feeling and thinking energetically and spiritually. So this is a good opportunity to pay attention to your body. What is it trying to communicate to you? And not being so quick to overlook your body, because your body is, again, the best teacher that you are going to have, period. Like, if your body is telling you something is wrong, it's because it is. And if your body is feeling like, yeah, this is great, even though your mind's like, I don't know, I'm scared, but your body's like, yeah, this is going to be good for you, go for it, then that's your opportunity to really move in that direction. And sometimes good things may not feel good. Like, for example, when we're being asked to change a part of ourselves, when we're being asked to, let's say, start a new diet or start a new exercise routine, our mind might be like, ugh, I don't want to do this. And even your body might feel that way too, but you know that it's going to be good for you in the long run, because it's going to move your body, it's going to move energy, and it's going to help release those things that are maybe stored in certain parts of your body. So really paying attention to how your body is communicating to you, what it's trying to tell you. And specifically, if you're feeling any pain right now, or if you have felt any pain recently, and maybe within this last little bit of the year, what is that pain in your body communicating to you? And how is it connected to the story that you're telling yourself or the information that you're receiving from others? And also, how is this trying to communicate what you need to know in order to move forward? Hey, Kelsey, good to see you. Pain in our body is like the best teacher. It really is. It's one of our best teachers, because it's going to tell us. And so that pain in your body might tell you that maybe it's time to give back to yourself, to give back to that inner child, to give back to the parts of ourselves that maybe we felt like we lost because we grew up, or because we lost because time got away from us. Ugh, my nose is like running all of a sudden. So that tells me like we're releasing things. We are letting go of things. What else is our body trying to communicate when we are in pain, other than we're in pain, right? Like, certain parts of your body represent certain ailments. So for example, when I had my fall last year in 2023, I fell and I bruised my tailbone, and that was highlighting that I felt a lack of support in my life. And it took me about a year and a half to figure out where that lack of support I felt like was coming from. And for me, it was in multiple directions. It wasn't just one thing. Hey, Shan, good to see you. So this Gemini moon is really asking for us to pay attention to the pain that is arising in our body and to really understand and take a moment to ask ourselves, okay, what is this trying to tell me? What can I do to heal this? How can I forgive myself or this other person or place or thing that's maybe causing this, and not getting so caught up in our head about it, but rather being in our body to feel it so we can release it, because your body stores so much information. And if we're not releasing these things out of our body, then your energy is going to stay stagnant and stuck, and you won't feel like you'll be able to move forward into the new year and then beyond. So this is kind of an intense reading. It's so good to see you, Shan. So again, like, what is your inner child? What about your inner child is being highlighted right now? What can we give to our inner child that we felt like we weren't given when we were younger? Maybe it's just love. Maybe it's just attention. Got any tips for releasing? Yes. So writing would be a great thing to do, especially with this Gemini moon. Talking it out, like literally speaking about it. So like, this one thing you could do too is, like, if there's certain pain in your body, you could tap in that area and ask, what are you feeling? And really just tune in and listen. Like, what is this trying to tell me? Where did this come from? Why is this here? You could also speak, like I said, speak it out loud. So affirmations, you could sing, you could also talk about it with a friend that you can trust or a partner that you trust. And also, this might require for some to actually have those hard conversations with those who have maybe hurt us, and maybe calling attention to it. So for example, if this is like a sibling, because Gemini does rule the siblings, if there's been like a sibling moon, communicating with your sibling, hey, that thing that you said actually really hurt me, and it caused this. And you know, if you don't feel like you're going to be able to have that conversation, you can still have that conversation, but on the spiritual plane and level. And you know, some people don't feel like they can have these conversations with their siblings face to face, and maybe it's because that other partner or that other person isn't ready to hear it or receive it, or you don't feel like you're going to be heard or seen. So this could also be talking to your ancestors and being like, hey, ancestors, this thing happened. Please help me have some healing around this particular thing that happened with my sibling in order to help me release and let go. Moving your body is also going to be a beautiful thing. So even if it's just going for a walk, specifically because of Gemini, we're also thinking about our arms and our hands. So even just like shaking it out, getting it out here in our with our voice, like I said, singing is also a really great way. Journaling, writing it down. One of my favorite things to do for a full moon is writing it down, whatever I want to release, and just burning it and letting it go. I know it might be a little bit rainy, so you could do this inside. Just make sure you do it in like a fire safe little like cauldron or something of that nature. That way you're not setting your house on fire, because we are in Mars in retrograde with Leo. So we're going to be more prone to accidents, and we're going to be more prone to fire accidents specifically too. So just being mindful of that. And so other things that are here on the deck too, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So Seven of Swords in reverse is about, did you feel like you were tricked? Do you feel like you were deceived in this past version of yourself? And maybe that's how the wounding was created, because maybe we thought one thing and it actually was something else. Or were you deceiving yourself? Or was it that you were pretending to be a version of yourself, or pretending to be something that you really weren't, in order to please the other party or person, place, or thing, and then you ended up being wounded because you weren't your full authentic self, because you didn't feel like maybe you could be your full authentic self? That could also be being highlighted right now. We also have forgive here at the bottom of the deck too, like I was kind of speaking on earlier. This moon is asking for forgiveness for ourselves and for those who have hurt us. And as I kind of shared with the Dane Cook story, there might be within this wound this wounding, a gift. And oftentimes I feel like our best treasures are through pain and through tragedy, because that's when we really understand and learn who we are and who we can become. And so we have gifts from the past. So this is also inviting us to even go as far back as maybe some of our past lives, the things that you feel naturally called to do, that you're naturally good at. So that can look different for everybody. So for me, it's definitely been tapping into a teacher energy. That was definitely something I did in a past life, and I've learned that within this last year or so. And that's really helped me work through some of my own wounds as a child and as a little girl. And it's helped me be able to understand, like, I needed to experience these things personally so that now I can teach about it and help those who might be experiencing currently. So there's beauty in that. I kind of feel like I want to pull some other cards. And look, as I'm saying that, I don't think you can hear, but there's sirens and things going off in the background too. So the one thing about full moons is that there are more accidents. We are going to have more alarms and sirens go off. That's very normal for a full moon. And I know, like, anybody that's ever worked in a hospital, the hospitals are always really busy when a full moon is around. And because we have this Mars in Leo retrograde, we're going to see more accident things. So it is kind of also, I think, a warning to just be cautious with your words. Be cautious with the words that you choose to speak. As I was saying in our class last night, words are magic. Do your best to speak from a place of love. Even if you are standing up for yourself, know that you are doing it out of a place of love. Yes, weird stuff, see, words. Always weird car stuff during a full moon. Yeah, the people are just, the full moon really does, like, especially this full moon, especially like what we're seeing here and with the holidays coming up, those who aren't doing their shadow work and those who aren't fully aware of themselves, what happens with the full moon is that it kind of brings these things out of our subconscious into our conscious, and those people who don't have the tools to properly work through it and handle it kind of just lose it, and they get their anger triggered, they get their stress is triggered, they maybe not thinking like the straightforward, so they're more prone to doing things that maybe they wouldn't normally do, or prone to getting into positions that they normally wouldn't, and it can cause havoc. Last night, a guy ran a red light and almost T-boned you as you were turning left. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're okay. That's so scary. Thank goodness, thank goddess that you are safe and protected and are still didn't have any problems. Yeah, we have to be extra cautious. It was like you were in a protection bubble though. He missed you by so little, and you do keep a huge chunk of tourmaline in your car. Yeah, me too. Black tourmaline in the car is highly, highly recommended in the house too. It will make a difference. So thank goodness that you were okay. That's scary. Yeah, and with this Mars retrograde, it's only going to be heightened. And this Mars retrograde too, I wanted to also mention that I don't think I mentioned in my previous live, Mars energy is that Martian energy. So it's no coincidence that shortly after the Mars retrograde happened that there was martial law declared in South Korea. Mars does highlight the cops. It does highlight the military, the army, and those kinds of things. So we might be seeing that trying to become more in power during this Mars retrograde. Good tip on the black tourmaline in the car always. Yes, definitely. I like some selenite in the car too. I like selenite in the house as well, on all my doorways and windows. But black tourmaline for sure, especially with this Mars retrograde. This is going to be a time too, because of this full moon and the retrograde, to just not just pay attention to where you're driving, but also pay attention to where you're going. Like, where are you going to shop? What is the energy around you? If it doesn't feel right, then it's because it's not. So like, trusting your body. And for some of us, we might have plans to go somewhere, and our body might tell us like, hey, I know like you really want this to happen, and I know this like seems like a good idea, but there's some kind of pain that we're trying to help you avoid. And I mean like pain that like you don't need to be a part of, pain that like it could cause more problems. So paying attention to that. I want to pull another card. Actually, I'm going to pull it from here. what other guidance do we have here? Oh, okay. And we have, ooh, what is hidden will be revealed. So this has definitely been true for me. I know that I have heard of people speaking gossip about me, and I could feel it. And I recently learned where it was coming from. And it was an opportunity for me to be like, okay, I hear that, but that's not my truth. And I'm also not going to pour my energy and engage into it because it's not going to serve me. If anything, it's going to put me in a lower vibration and it's not going to allow me to do the things that I need to do. So, and Gemini does rule gossip. So you might hear of somebody talking about you. You might hear of somebody talking about maybe a past version of yourself. And this is also your warning to be mindful of who you're talking about too, because it's always going to get revealed no matter what. So there might also be some other gifts that might come through. I'm going to kind of clarify this. Like, what is this? What is hidden? What is hidden that's going to be revealed for us? We got deja vu and I know nothing. So it might be something that you've been feeling, something familiar. Maybe you feel like this has happened before. It could be a cycle that we're getting ready to close out or being asked to close out, and it could kind of hit us out of nowhere. So, and typically when secrets are being revealed, it's not something that we're fully aware of. So this is a time to also stay open, and collectively, I think we're going to get ready to have some kind of big information, something that maybe isn't nothing that's being talked about now, but it might be revealed within now into the last little part of the year. Something that we're like, oh crap, like I didn't know that, or I didn't know that that was coming. So there's definitely something brewing in the collective consciousness. I know it's getting ready to come out. I don't know exactly what it is. I have some ideas, but this is really honing in on there's something that's going to come out to the forefront. And again, Gemini is also about information. So within this next week, we might hear some news about some of our leaders, some of our like other like spaces that we maybe look up to. We might hear some information about social media itself or on social media. That might be where we hear this information from, maybe even the news. So just pay attention. There's definitely something getting ready to be revealed for this. So I feel pretty solid about that. Let's check in on our candle. It's kind of gone down quite a bit for by this point. Usually it's like only like a third of the way down, and it's almost like pretty much mostly done. So we definitely are being asked to have that confidence with what we are speaking to ourselves and with others. And again, being mindful of the words that you're choosing when speaking to yourself. Like, look, and as I'm talking about, the flame is just getting more and more intense. So being confident with the words that you choose for yourself, and being confident too, if you're working on changing a narrative that maybe has kept you in a place of pain and has kept you in a place of suffering, that be confident that the words that you are going to be using will take you out of that. And it's a practice, and it's going to take time. So this isn't going to be something where, and it could be something that could happen overnight, but it's a continuation, especially as we go into Capricorn season. Slow and steady wins the race. The little things that you do every single day will make a bigger difference than doing the big steps in that one day, if that makes sense. Okay, so I think we are ready to get into our Limpias here. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Actually, let's take some water. I hope everything came out clearly. I feel like with the Gemini moons, as a Gemini moon and rising, I feel like there's like so many things in my mind, like, okay, this, and my mouth can't always like keep up with it, and I get like lost in my words, and I can get jumbled a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a deep breath into the nose, and we're going to let it out through the mouth, and we're going to do this 3 times, okay? So let's take a deep breath into the nose, and then out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose, And out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. I realized I don't think I ever put in, nope. I don't think I did, that's okay. Go ahead and find a comfortable position. Sit back and relax for this next part. And after the Limpias, I'll open it for anybody who wants a card. Shan says it was clear for me. I think the message received by those who are meant to see it. Absolutely. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. You are absolutely right. This is a heavier message. This is not like the light, happy rainbow message, you know, but you can't create the rainbow without a storm, without some pain. There has to be some friction for that rainbow to come through. And I feel like that's what this Gemini moon is really about. All right. Ready? I cleanse and release what no longer serves thee, and I send it back into the earth for it to be healed. I cleanse and release what no longer serves thee, and I send it back into the earth for it to be healed. I cleanse and release what no longer serves thee, and I send it back into the earth for it to be healed. We open up our throat chakra to speak our truth. We open up our throat chakra to say what we need to say to ourselves with love. We open up our throat chakra for healing, for the times that we didn't speak up when we needed to. And we offer it love, healing, and support. We open up our throat chakra to receive the messages that we know are true for us. We open up our throat chakra to stand in our truth, and we speak our truth. And when we speak with our throat chakra, it's okay if we stumble on our words. It's okay if it's a little shaky. Sometimes that's how it is until we get it out. This part may get a little loud, just so you know. So we stand strong in our truth. We create new stories that really serve our highest alignment and our highest purpose. We are the student and the teacher. May you take time to release what no longer serves you in your body, what no longer serves your voice, what no longer serves your truth. Releasing those past pains, those past traumas and wounds. And to help us tap into the beauty and the magic that we really are. I get hot and sweaty. And to release any stagnancy, to release any hiccups, to release any judgment, to release any pain, so we may work through it and find reconciliation with it. And now open up our hearts for this unconditional love of ourselves, and a reminder that others are a reflection of us, and to give love. May you always speak your truth, even when your voice trembles. May you always live your truth, even if others judge you. May you always embody your true nature, no matter what. May you trust your body's wisdom and the intelligence that it holds. May you remember that your mind and your thoughts are not always you, and you have the opportunity and choice to feed what serves you. To know that your truth might not be others, and to know that not everyone is for you, and to never let that stop you being who you came here to be. And to remember you are a duality. You are both light and dark. You are duality, you are duality, you are duality. Receive, receive, receive. May you embody both your masculine and your feminine. May you take that with you into the next year ahead. Thank you. Bless you. And so dope it be. That was nice. Let's check on our candle. So we are almost done. She's still going though. She's still pretty strong. So we're not done yet, but I'm hoping that by everybody who's watched this, whether now or later, that you're going to feel more confident in the words that you speak and the truths that you tell yourselves. I really invite you to write down a new story, a story that you want to carry into the new year and even years ahead, because things are changing and this is the optimal time to really release and to let go so we can make space for what we want to bring in for ourselves. And I would like to take this time, if anybody here would like me to do some card pulls, to go ahead and drop an emoji. Look, Love is cool. She's like on it. She's like, I'm ready. I love that. So go ahead and drop an emoji if you would like a card pull. I would love to pull some for you. And actually take a sip here before I get started. Okay. You're at work, so it's hard to hear, but you definitely love to read and watch later. Okay, I can definitely do that for you. All right. So Lovely's cool. Let's start with you. All right. What magic and medicine do we have for Lovely is cool for this Gemini moon? What magic and medicine do we have for Lovely is cool for this Gemini moon? What magic and medicine do we have for Lovely is cool for this Gemini full moon? Okay. Ooh. Okay. So Lovely is cool. You got the Seven of Swords in reverse, which was our shadow card. So I think for you, this is really bringing that shadow to the forefront. Where have you felt like your spirit was deceived? And I say spirit particularly because you got the spirit card as well. You also got the card Calm with Transformation. So this tells me you are definitely in a very transformative time. And it almost feels like the energy that I'm getting is you maybe have been going down a path that maybe you thought was really going to be good for you, but maybe now you're seeing that there's something about it that really isn't allowing your full spirit to shine through. And you're seeing that we need to make some changes. And maybe those changes might seem a little scary and a little bit unknown, but you will be so much happier that you did it. And it's interesting that you're at work right now. So I wonder if this has anything to do with work related things. But maybe your spirit is really calling for you to do something that really speaks to you, that really makes you feel like, yes, like this is what I want. This is what I'm doing. And I could also see this too, helping others going through changes and transformations and helping them feel transformed, helping them find calm and peace in the uncertainty. But with the Seven of Swords coming up in reverse, maybe we told ourselves, okay, this, if we're gonna do, we'll do this and it should serve me in this way, but maybe it isn't. And we maybe need to recalibrate and think about, what does our spirit actually want? What is our spirit actually calling for us to do? And what are you envisioning for yourself? And also, ooh, I just flipped the card. What faith do you need to have? I feel like your faith is being tested right now. Maybe you've been really asking for a change and that change hasn't come up yet. And so this could be about divine timing and really just taking time. Ooh, yeah, we got death underneath for you, girl. I keep wanting to say girl, but I don't know if you are, sorry. But we got death under here and faith. So like, have faith that the changes that you truly want, the changes that you've been working on to have and create, will happen. And a lot of it is rooted in your faith. It's rooted in your visions, and it's rooted in your own beliefs. And a lot of that has to do with your connection to spirit. So I think if anything, this full moon is calling for you to really get closer to your own divinity. And even if it's that's journaling, that's writing things down, speaking out loud, but getting closer to your divinity. You truly appreciate it. You're the loudest spot right now. So for what you heard so far, you're right on the nose as always. Hey, Carly, so good to see you. Thank you. I know these are very beautiful cards. Yeah, I love that for you. So, congratulations on this change. I'm excited to hear about what this looks like. Happy Gemini full moon, and I hope this resonated for you. And thank you so much for being a part of this as always and for your support. And I totally forgot to drop all of my tip information, but if you would like to tip me at any point in time, and this goes for anybody, and also sharing and liking and being a part of this also does help me quite a bit. You can do so here. I'm just going to put my Venmo and Cash App here real quick before I forget. I also have other ways too. So, but thank you again for always being a part of this. Your support does mean a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let's go to Kelsey. Kelsey. Ooh, Kelsey, I just got like really hot, like sweaty. I mean, I'm always a sweaty girl, but I just feel like whenever I get really hot and sweaty, there's like a lot of energy there. So, okay, we're going to take that one. Does that want to come out for you? Kelsey, what wants to come through? Oop, that went back in, so we're just going to leave that. What wants to come through for Kelsey for this full moon? Ooh, we got interesting. A lot of cards want to come out, but they're not coming out. What magic and medicine wants to come through for Kelsey? There it is. So there might be some kind of indecision about that you might be feeling right now. All right, there it goes. Okay, Kelsey. The first card that came out for you was Page of Swords. So Page of Swords is about taking on a new journey with our thoughts, taking on a new path with how we kind of take our strife out into the world. And this is like the warrior going out for the first time and like discovering the world. And so we have that with your light coming up. So I really love that for you. And then we also have third eye. So I feel like maybe Kelsey, I know that you have been building up to letting kind of like stepping into this new role or new version of yourself, and I feel like a lot of it does have to do with leading with your intuition. And Page of Swords is very much like a leadership energy, but it's like we're learning to how to embody our leadership and like where maybe we're feeling called to be the most. But you're really being called to like make those moves and make those directions based off of the visions and the guidance that your third eye is giving you, and trusting that your light is needed and wanted, and it's going to be well received. And Page of Swords too can also highlight the younger crowd, the younger community. So perhaps there's maybe an opportunity, which you have underneath the deck here, to maybe work with the youth. And I know that's come up for you before, but this I think is also really about how are you leading the youth? How are you leading your younger self into this newer version of yourself that I think you've been slowly working through and working to step into? Your light is definitely wanted and your light is definitely needed. And a lot of it has to do with following your intuition and really trusting your intuition and knowing that you are going to get where you need to go by trusting your intuition, even if it doesn't make sense. And you also have the Death card come under here with the card Restlessness. So I feel like this has been like a long transformation, a long change coming. And I think you're getting ready to like step foot and getting ready to like break free of an old narrative. Page of Swords too can also represent a narrative that maybe we have had, and now we're embracing a newer narrative and we're leading forward with that. And a lot of it again has to do with the visions that you've received in your third eye, with you being in touch with your intuition and sharing your light. I feel like we're getting ready to like release something. That's kind of the energy that I feel. We're getting ready to like step into something a little bit more. And I'm also hearing it might not be what you expected. So if you really take some time to like pay attention until now, until the last year, like people will tell you like not what to do, but people will tell you what they maybe are desiring. And that will tell you what direction and how to move forward, if that makes sense. But a lot of it, I think, is really about just showing up in this newer version of yourself. And this has been like a long change coming, like one of those changes where like with Restlessness, it's one of those cards of like, are we done yet? Are we like, are we ready? Like, I need to like be here now and like sometimes we have to sit in that restlessness for a minute in order for things to happen. Because I feel like for you, there's a lot of divine timing at play. And so your intuition's expanding the more you trust yourself. You've also felt your creative energy becoming unlocked. Childhood healing has led you here. Big purge and embodiment energy. I love that for you. I really love that for you. And Kelsey, I think even working with some candle magic, because we have this card coming up here for you, would actually really help and benefit you moving forward too. Still feeling uncertain, but leaning into what the collective needs from you as a leader and a healer. Yes, I think that's the collective will tell you sometimes. I feel like that's like the best like thing to do sometimes when we're not sure what to do. Let the universe show you what you came here to do, because sometimes that can actually propel you in a forward direction that maybe you weren't expecting to go on. Because let me tell y'all, I never in the past saw myself doing this and doing the work that I'm doing. It was all something that the universe and other people were like, yeah, like this, like, we support you, you should pursue this and go into it. And now here we are. So sometimes you never know. And that could even fall in line with our earlier card. What has been hidden will be revealed. It could be hidden magic, hidden gifts that maybe you didn't see, but others see in you, because Gemini is also that reflective energy. So how are people reflecting to you the magic that you also have? You said candle meditation has been calling you, and definitely take this as a sign. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Yes, I love candle magic. Candle magic is like, mwah. It's like, I love it so much. So thank you so much, Kelsey. It's so good to see you again. And thank you for your love and your support. Okay, so I think I lost it here. Okay, Shan, you are next. Ooh, all right. Spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters, what wants to come through for Shan for this Gemini full moon? What wants to come through for Shan for this Gemini? Oh, okay, we got lots of cards. Okay, we'll take them. It's not too many, I think. We'll take one more. Anytime cards come out like this, it's like a story. So there's like some kind of story being unfolded. What wants to come through for Shan for this Gemini moon? Ooh, okay, I'm gonna try to pick it up the way that it came out. Okay, all right, Shan, you got the Eight of Cups as your first card. So this is definitely embarking on something new, moving towards a different direction, being on a soul searching journey. And I feel like that's something that you have been doing for the last little bit. So this soul searching journey, I think, is really about who are your people, who are your friends, how have you befriended yourself, befriended this new version of yourself that you've stepped into. And then we also have nourish your soul. So how much have we maybe lost ourselves in order to have certain friendships in our lives? Or how much have we maybe moved away from our friends in order to have to nourish ourselves? And then you have essence. So this makes me feel like this is definitely like a soul searching, a soul discovery moon for you. I think you might be asked to kind of take some time to kind of move away from like the things that you have been doing in order to maybe refriend yourself, this new version of yourself, to nourish yourself, to rediscover the essence that you are, so you can find healing and bring in abundance at the end. Like, wow, like I love how that story unfolds. That's so cool. So I really feel like if more than anything, you might be feeling like, I feel like there's a newer path that might be presenting itself to you. And you might have to remove yourself from situations to really make it happen. You've definitely removed yourself from a lot of situations. I'm really happy to hear that, and I know and hope that it's literally showing it's going to lead to good things. And you have trust issues with the friends around you. I think this is highlighting like a moment to really ask yourself, why are these people in your life? What are they trying to show you? What are they trying to show that that you need to nourish for yourself? And if that's the case, taking time away will actually bring a lot of healing and a lot of abundance. And I think it will really support all of what you're doing, both in work, with home life, with other friends, even with family, but really yourself. Like, this gives me glow up energy. This gives me like, I need to remove myself in order to take a minute for myself. And when I come back, I'm going to come back glowing. I'm going to come back stronger. I'm going to come back more abundant. I'm going to come back more clear. That's kind of like what I'm feeling. And I feel like, you know, sometimes certain people have a soul contract with us and they're around for a certain point in time for X amount of time. And when that time is done, that's it. And sometimes those friend contracts or those soul contracts are just to teach us something or to show us something. And it's often about something about ourselves. And so, and it can often be about, you know, and I feel like too, like, how much have you really like relinquished yourself in a way to like have these friendships? Like, do you feel lonely? Maybe that's like what this is asking. And like, how can you really nourish that part of yourself that maybe has felt lonely in order to find that abundance again? This is beautiful. I really love this for you. And underneath here, we got the key. So, and with the door underneath that, so I feel like, and then the wound underneath that. So this, I think, is your key. Like, if you're really wanting to open up some new abundance for yourself, this is the key to do that. You also got truth, which is something that has repeatedly come up in this collective reading and for others, you know, stepping into your truth, and it's not going to be everybody else's truth. And you also got rainbow transference. So this is about transmuting the energy, transmuting these people and these situations in order to make it a really bountiful harvest for yourself. Working hard in the background right now, staying more silent. People who you thought loved me just used you and you feel lonely as fuck. Thank you. So reading, you're so welcome. And I don't like that you feel lonely, but I understand. I get this. I understand this completely. Sometimes we have to go through these things in order to see the treasure that you have. Like, think about that too. Like, why are these friends with you? What are they using you for? And how is that a gift that you can step more into, but maybe also need to have boundaries with others, so it's not being abused? So I love this for you, Shan. Congratulations on this. This is going to be so bountiful and so beautiful. And I can't wait to see like what this ends up being for you. So thank you so much for your love and for your support. I'm so happy this resonated with you, and happy Gemini moon. Love you. Love everybody. Okay, who is next? All right, vintage soul resale. Yes, girl. Let's go. Let's see. And I think you're the last one. Let me double check here. Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. All right, let's see what we have for you. Okay. What wants to come through for vintage soul? Can you tell me your name again? I'm totally blanking out on your name. I know you. I've met you in person, but like my name, Mary. Thank you. I almost wanted to say Kathy, but I was like, I know it's not Kathy. Okay, Mary. Yes, because like I know your face. Okay. Thank you, Mary. What wants to come through for Mary? Woo! That's fun. What wants to come through for Mary? Okay. What wants to come through for Mary? What wants to come through for Mary? What wants to come through for Mary? Okay. Oh, Mary. Oh my God. Okay. I have to show you this card first. This wasn't your first card that came out, but it's so relevant because you got the twin card, which is literally Gemini, basically. So you got twin that came out here. You also got magic, which is the card that I was like, ooh, this is fun. You also got play, live, and connection. So I'm going to read this, how it came out. So Mary, you were being asked to tap into some beautiful magic, some magic that I feel like you've been brewing something new. And this feels like something new in the sense of like collaboration, new in the sense of like, who can you work with that will allow you more connection? What kind of magic can you create through connections, through working with other people? And how will it help you maybe feel like you're living your life more fully and living more abundantly, and allow you more time to play and ultimately is a version of yourself and is a reflection of yourself. So I can see this honestly. This feels like this is romantically, like maybe there's some kind of reconnection or rekindling with a romantic person, a romantic partner, in order for you to feel like you're living more, having more fun, that you're playing more. But I can also see this in work as well. And I feel like I keep hearing the word collaboration. There might be some fun collaborations that are on the table. And these collaborations might not be necessarily like businessy, if that makes sense. It's more so fun and about connecting with other people and having fun, but it actually will bring you other kind of abundance as well. Some of it's money and some of it is just connection and community and working with and kind of being more a part of community. You also got the lovers underneath here, which is why I feel like there's some romantic element to it as well, and within the Four of Wands there too. I feel like this is a prayer that you've been asking for and something you've been envisioning. And honestly, this also reads vacation. Like, when's the last time you've gone on vacation? Are you having a vacation here soon? And is there a vacation that you're planning on? Because maybe a part of what this is taking some time to play so you can have some more inspiration, and it will help you feel like you're living your life a little bit more. Like, how often do you give ooh, excuse me, burping all of a sudden. How often do you give yourself enough time to like have off? How often do you have enough time to play, purely for play, without there being something attached to it? How often are you connecting with your people because you want to connect with your people? Like, this almost makes me feel like shaking up some things. And by shaking up some things and maybe working with other people, and coming out of like your maybe daily routine or your typical routine, it's going to open up some kind of magic for you, and something that I don't feel like is necessarily like on your radar. It feels like by collaborating and taking some time off to play and to have fun, it's going to spark some other things later in life and later down the line that will bring in more connection. I'm also hearing too, like, how are you putting yourself out there, and is that wanting to change? And maybe what that is becoming like embodying more of this playful. This is very much also like inner child energy, playing with the inner child, indulging with the inner child, having fun with your inner child. I feel like there's something there, hey Maya, that wants to come through for you. Ooh, I love this. And this, I also feel like, again, I still feel vacation. I don't know if you have a vacation planned, but I think there's something in the horizon for you. But there's definitely some magic with collaborating. And I know you already collaborate with people, but maybe this is collaborating with people that maybe aren't exactly in like your field, but it's still like interconnected in some way, shape, or form, especially with twin, right? Because twin, even though there's that twin energy, there's still a difference. You have a vacation January 2nd. Good. Good. I'm so glad that vacation is going to serve you in more ways than I think you're anticipating. And I think you're going to come back inspired. You're going to come back excited. You're going to come back with like, ooh, I have this idea. Ooh, this like sparked me when you're there. Something about where you're going is really going to, I think, shift how you also want to live your life. So I would expect like a new life change as well after this. But there's definitely some magic here, and this is a long time coming vacation, it feels like. I don't feel like you want to come back. I don't know where you're going, but I just get this energy of like, I don't want to come back. Yeah, that's awesome. So I hope that resonated with you, Mary, and thank you so much for being here and for your love and support as well. I miss you too, Maya. It's been so long. I love seeing you. I hope you're doing well. I hope baby Zen's doing well. I've been thinking of going somewhere for the new year too. Yes, girl. Maybe this message is also for you too. Going somewhere, having a vacation, and taking some time for yourself, taking some time to relax and play. And I feel like too, especially with this collective reading that came up, it is showing us, and we are having some wounds being triggered from our inner child. And this would be a good time to have that vacation, to give ourselves some space in order to work through these things. So I suspect that some of us might have holiday plans, but we might end up canceling them, or we might end up doing something a little bit different in order to give us that space that we need to work through these things. So if anyone else would like a reading that is here, go ahead and drop an emoji. I would do maybe a couple more. And then that is what I have for y'all today. What a fun day. What a great last full moon of 2024. Like, it's been a year, y'all. It has been a year. Okay, so let's see what we have for Carly. All right, Carly, what magic and medicine wants to come through for Carly today for this Gemini full moon? What magic and medicine wants to come through for Carly for this Gemini full moon? Okay, and then what magic and medicine wants to come through for Carly for this Gemini full moon? Ooh, I also feel like really hot when I'm doing yours too. So there's definitely a lot of like energy. There's definitely a lot of, ooh, okay. Ooh, yes. Ooh, I love that. Okay, so you got the 10 of Cups in reverse. You also got strength. You also got shared tenderness and in between worlds. So Carly, this is definitely highlighting things within, I think, the family unit, but also those people who you consider soul family. This, I think, you're being shown for this Gemini moon how strong of a person you are, how much you've endured, and still have been able to come out on top. I also feel like, and I know things are changing and shifting for you. Thank you so much, Mary, for the tip. It really means a lot. I know things are shifting and changing for you, and it almost feels like there might be a shift in the people that you do keep company with. And to know that if that does happen, that is actually going to strengthen you, and it's also going to strengthen the community. I also feel like you are a healer. I know you know that. This also might be a moon where you might have people coming to you in need of healing or in need of help. And you might also be feeling like you need some space to have a moment. And I also feel like too, like you are stepping into a new way of being, and maybe some family members or some people around you might not fully understand it or like it or agree with it. And so this in-between world card is a card about being somebody who has the ability to traverse the world. Ooh, look, and our candle just went out. Ooh, that's the first time the candle went out during the live, and it went out during your reading, Carly. And this was a solar power one, so about being confident in your ability to be able to access energy or access the spiritual realm, and also be able to bring that into our physical realm. Not everyone's going to be able to receive that, and not everyone's going to be able to understand it. And so this might be a time where you're really learning, like, who are your people that will really hear you and see you and understand you with this new version of yourself. The in-between world card is also a card of like, we're 1 foot in, but we're 1 foot out. And so when we're in that transitional phase, we might have our life feel that way, and that might reflect in our family, that might reflect in our social groups and our circles. So this isn't to say like we're losing people, but maybe the people that you once had that close connection with, that might change, but that's not a bad thing. If anything, you're going to really show yourself and see how strong of a person you are and how you've been able to carry yourself through some challenging things. And I wouldn't be surprised if you had some people come to you in search of healing, in search of help, in search of like, I don't feel heard, I don't feel understood. So you also have protect your heart here as well. So when we are in these transitional phases, sometimes we do have to maybe not share with everybody or sharing with the right people these transitions that you're making, because it can maybe influence the changes that you are working so hard to make. So this is about protecting your heart. And I feel like even at home, there might be a shift at home too in regards to this change. I also see the card intuition under the deck. So you're trusting your intuition more, you're following your intuition more, and it's taking you in a new path and direction and opening doors for you that maybe wouldn't have been open had you not been trusting your intuition. So this is a very much like you're following your intuition, you're leaning into your intuition, and it's taking you places that you haven't gone before, and it's different, and you are in this transitional phase and state, but at the same time, you are going to call in some new people, and you are being asked to protect your heart. So not everyone needs to know your whole journey right now. And that might be different than what maybe we've done before. And trust me, like when I'm in a change and a transition, that was one of my harder lessons that I've had to learn, and sometimes still have to learn. Like sometimes I have to wait until I'm in a certain place before I can change, even though I'm like so excited and I want to tell people. Like, this is like your strength. Your strength is actually like kind of not moving quietly, but moving strategically, if that makes sense. So I really love this. You definitely are stepping into a role of a healer. You're definitely stepping into a space of like also how people are going to perceive you in your community as well. So it's okay to kind of keep to yourself until you are feeling like ready, but I do feel like you are being asked to step more into that space too. Hey Katie, good to see you. So I hope that resonated with you, Carly, and I'm excited for you. You'll definitely have to keep me updated, and happy Gemini full moon and good luck with everything. So Maya, let's get into your reading. Let's see what we have for you. So spirit guides, ancestors, star sisters, what do we have for Maya? What do we have for Maya for this Gemini moon? Spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters. Okay. Spirit guides, ancestors, and star sisters. What do we have for Maya? Okay, ooh, Maya, we got quite a few cards here too, so I'm gonna read it like a story. Okay, look, we got the mirror. Yes, love you too, and I'm so glad it resonates with you, Carly. You have to watch back later. You're at work, sending love. Sending you love too, Katie. So Maya, as I was kind of saying earlier in the live, Gemini energy is also the mirror. So what is being reflected back to you at this particular time? What has been being reflected to you within like the last week or so? And maybe it's a prayer that you've been putting out there. Oh, look, sky mirror, lots of mirror energy, right? So what have you been really looking into? What have you been searching for? What is that prayer that you have been putting out there? What are you really seeking? And I feel like, ooh, this has been a prayer about abundance. This is like my first time seeing these cards too, so like doing it along with you. There's been, I think, you've been around a lot of abundance, and I feel like we're in a space of like you can have that abundance too, and people are reflecting the ways that you can receive that abundance for yourself. And it might be about really diving into your intuitive abilities, diving into your ability to see beyond the veil, and also being able to see the prayers being answered, if that makes sense, because it's going to bring so much abundance to you. So if you've been praying for abundance, if you've been seeing the abundance, if you've been calling in the abundance, if you've been visualizing the abundance, it is coming, and it's going to come from somebody unexpected. And this is what the someone soon is about. It's somebody is going to come into your life that maybe has been a mirror of you, and this mirror doesn't necessarily, it could be both positive aspects or negative aspects. Gemini is about duality, so it's about seeing all versions of ourselves. But there's definitely somebody coming through within this last like little bit of this year that is going to help you answer those prayers, and those prayers around money, those prayers around abundance, and also the abundance and the money that you can create for yourself. I feel like within this last year, it's been about an exploration of what do you have to offer for others, and what is your abundance that you have that you would like to share. And I think part of it is working with your intuition, and perhaps this is going to be an opportunity for you to step outside of your comfort zone to kind of begin this new abundance that you're going to be creating for yourself. I also feel like there might be somebody that comes to you with maybe an idea or an opportunity that's like, hey, like, I really love this about you. can we work with you and share this together somehow, right? And so I feel like this is something you've been visualizing, something that's been a long time coming. It could be about receiving money that's owed to you. It might not be who you're expecting it to be from, but it is something that I think you've been calling in. You also have the Five of Cups in reverse. So there's been, I feel like, some disappointment that you've been working through. And I feel like that's why there's been a lot of reflection. There's been a lot of like taking some time to really look within yourself and look at even who's around you and what are they trying to tell you? What have the people that we've lost and the people that we gained, what are they reflecting about you? And how is that working in your favor or not working in your favor? You also have beingness that came underneath the deck. So I feel like this last little bit, you've been in a space where you've been just kind of being and letting things kind of reflect to you what you need to know. You also have death to the deceitful. So I feel like you're going to surprise yourself. I feel like you have the ability to surprise others. This makes me feel like there's something brewing underneath the surface that isn't on your radar. And it's really going to be very abundant once it's time for it to come out. And I feel like there's somebody that's involved with this abundance that is going to come through. But this is like a long time prayer answered, I feel. And I also feel too, this is something you've been calling on. I definitely feel like there's been some like spiritual work, like working, I don't know if you're working with like a deity or anything right now, but there's something about tapping into your intuitive abilities to be able to like see beyond the veil about what's next in your life and how to achieve that abundance. But I feel like a lot of it is also there's abundance to be had and to be received just by your beingness. So like how can you make that a reality? Again, like what have people been showing you within the last year? I feel like this for you is about the last year, and how can that help you moving forward? I feel like next year is going to be about stepping into this abundance. And a lot of it has to do with what you've learned, what you've been reflecting on, and how much it's changed you into the person that you are today. Yes, I'm so glad that it resonated with you. So much love and support. You have a lot of love and support, and you have an abundance of people who want to see you thrive and want to see you do your thing. And I think part of doing your thing is just being, and that's a beautiful gift. That's a beautiful gift. And I think a lot of it too has to do with like showing other people how to be, like showing other people how to be, because we live in a society that wants us to be constantly doing. So I love that for you. So happy Gemini full moon. I love you so much. I'm so happy to see you. What a beautiful surprise. And I'm glad this resonated with you. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And good luck. And definitely keep me updated with what you're doing in the future. I would love to see how this all unfolds for you. So that is what I have for us today. And I love that our candle went out during the live. That like never happens. It's always after the live. So that's really beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and close this space. If you would like to tip me at any point in time, I did leave my info here in the comment section. I'm going to pin it here really quickly if I can find it. You'll let me. There it goes. And thank you for being a part of this. If you want to share this, like this, make sure you're following me. I'll be coming back for one more live because December has been blessed with 2 new moons. So I'll be here for the Capricorn new moon on December 30th at 4:44 p.m. So that's a Monday. So I'll be doing one more live for the year. And I do have my books open for December 31st for anybody who is interested in a personal reading. If that date doesn't work for you and you need something sooner, reach out to me. We can make something happen. I have some classes getting ready to come up in January. I also had a last minute event being booked at the Lawn Next Door this Friday coming up on the 20th, where I'll be vending some of my goodies, and I'll be doing a 1-card poll for the year ahead for those who are there. So I'm going to go ahead and close the space. And also definitely visit my website at meaningfuldream.com. I meant to say too, any online purchase gets a free intuitively chosen Luna essence. There's no code or coupon necessary. Just purchase something, whatever it is, and you'll get a free Luna essence. So yay. All right. I close this space with love and gratitude and thank our spirit guides, our ancestors and star sisters for being here with us today for this Gemini full moon reading. Thank you for helping me deliver the messages to those who are present and for those who are watching later. Thank you for allowing me to speak clearly and concisely and to deliver what needs to be said. Thank you for your love and your support. And I thank the North, the element of earth, for being here with us today. I thank the West, the element of water, for being here with us today. I thank the South, the element of fire, for being here with us today. And I thank the East, the element of air, for being here with us today. And I thank below to our ancestors for being here with us today. And I thank above to the universe and the cosmos for being here with us today. Thank you all for your love and support. Thank you for your guidance, spirit, and also for those who are present today. Thank you, bless you, and so dope it be. Happy Gemini moon. I love y'all, and I will see you for the Capricorn new moon in a little bit here. Love you. Bye. Thank you.